Live from Fargo and serving you on TV, online, and on the go, this is Valley News Live at 5.
Hundreds of students at North Dakota State University are making their voices heard after an alleged racist Snapchat group surfaced earlier this week. They protested for 2 hours this afternoon. Valley News Team's Devin Fry joins us live from NDSU's campus with more. Devin?
Andrea, the protests really just got to an end here. They're just now dissipated. We're on the NDSU campus by the Memorial Union where this all started. The group of hundreds of students and other protesters gathered outside here at the Memorial Union and then marched throughout various roadways here on the campus. So like I said, very large group, a lot of people out getting their voices heard today. Now this is in response to the alleged racist Snapchat group made up of NDSU students. It's also in response to how this was handled by the school administration. Their main missions of this protest was to hold the school accountable and change the way that these kind of incidents are handled.
I know this president of the college is saying they got a task force, this and that and the other, but actions speak louder than words.
Protesters are going to be back at it again tomorrow, but this time they're going to be protesting outside of the house of the president of the university. Reporting from the NDSU campus, Devin Fry, Valley News Live.
All right, thank you, Devin. The school also confirmed 2 more potential hate speech incidents on campus that they are investigating. We'll have much more on this story tonight on Valley News Live at 9 and 10. As we roll into the weekend, it doesn't seem like there's much to worry about in the weather department, but let's make sure. You never know. Hutch, how's it looking?
Well, that beautiful shot from Grand Forks shows things are pretty quiet for most of us, but not all of us enjoyed the heat of the day. It was a cooler day in north central Minnesota as forecast near Lake of the Woods. 20s there now in Roseau and in Bemidji also in the 20s. But things are a little warmer with the warmest air out in the Dakotas where we still have 40s near Bismarck and near Minot. A few more clouds in the Northern Valley and those limited your heating today. And we talked about that cool pool of air. It really didn't make too much progress moving south as forecast. So your forecast for tonight just looks delightful. Temperatures will be in the 20s. Now, we are typically at highs of these values. 27 the average high in Fargo for this time of the year. That's where we'll be dipping to as we head to bed tonight. At Grand Forks, similarly, low to mid 20s as we head to bed under clear skies. We do have some changes to talk about for the weekend, and we'll do that. And I'll also go over how long this broken weather of warm weather is going to last.
Okay, thanks, Hutch.
Yeah.
An 18-year-old charged with sexually assaulting a 4-year-old this summer has now pleaded guilty. Zachary Richardson is charged with 1 count of felony gross sexual imposition. Documents state his therapist said that Richardson would sexually offend young children if given the chance. Richardson's foster mom told officers she had taken away all of his electronics as he was regularly engaging in sexual and pornographic sites. Richardson will be sentenced in March. Fire crews are trying to figure out what led to a massive fire at an abandoned warehouse in Albert Lea, Minnesota. Many city streets were blocked off and at least 1 family was evacuated from their home. People saw flames climbing above the homes and melting siding. There are no reports of injuries. In the coming weeks, 2 coronavirus vaccines will go before the FDA for emergency use authorization review. Many public health experts say widespread vaccination plays a critical role in ending this pandemic. Laura Podesta has more on what you need to know about the vaccines.
Several coronavirus vaccines are in development, but the 2 ready for approval are from Pfizer and from Moderna.
While the science is unprecedented and quicker than ever, the clinical trials are as rigorous and as detailed as they were for measles and polio and diphtheria.
Both vaccines are a new type called mRNA. They contain genetic information which instructs cells to produce harmless coronavirus proteins to trigger an immune response. Dr. Ruth Karen is with the Johns Hopkins Bloomberg School of Public Health.
95% efficacy against any COVID disease and 100% efficacy against severe disease.
Both trials enrolled tens of thousands of people. Both makers have reported the vaccines were well tolerated. Dr. Barry Bloom is with the Harvard T.H. Chan School of Public Health. He says he understands the public questioning the vaccines, and that's good to do. But with testing on such a large group, the evidence supports vaccination.
You have no serious side effects, at least during the period of the trial, and you have 95.4% protection against a disease that's killing people, filling up hospitals, paralyzing the healthcare system in this country. Think seriously about the risks and the benefits.
There are some unknowns, like whether the vaccines can prevent transmission.
It's not time to throw away your mask or start congregating again, because it could be that these vaccines protect your neighbor by preventing spread from one person to another, but we don't know that yet.
The other big unknown, how long will protection last? Laura Podesta, CBS News.
Both vaccines require 2 doses to achieve protection. Moderna's are given a month apart and Pfizer's are given 3 weeks apart. House Speaker Nancy Pelosi says there is momentum building in Congress toward passing a COVID relief bill after months of a partisan impasse. Pelosi says Democrats are excited about a $908 billion proposal introduced earlier this week. The Speaker has previously demanded a $2 trillion relief bill. Asked why she's now open to a smaller package, Pelosi says it's because Joe Biden is becoming president and has, in her view, an effective COVID plan and a vaccine is imminent.
We feel very excited about the prospect that there's a bipartisan bill, because I told members I'm not bringing any more bills that are not bipartisan.
The bill includes aid to state and local governments, school funding, $300 weekly federal unemployment insurance, and some liability protections for businesses from COVID-related lawsuits. Fans will be back in the stands at high school sports in Fargo and West Fargo starting December 14th. Both school districts confirmed to Valley News Live that a maximum of 50 home team spectators will be allowed at competitions and performances when those activities resume in mid-December. Currently, North Dakota is designated in the orange high-risk level. Current North Dakota Smart Restart crowd limitations are as follows: 50 fans allowed for orange or high-risk level, 100 fans allowed for yellow or moderate risk level, 200 fans allowed for green, and normal occupancy restrictions for blue or new normal. Officials say masks are required for all fans, sideline, and media personnel during contests. The battle for control of the Senate is heating up. Today, Vice President Mike Pence and former President Barack Obama both held rallies for their respective candidates in Georgia's 2 Senate runoff elections. This as Joe Biden keeps his focus on the economy. Skylar Henry reports from Delaware.
President-elect Joe Biden is calling the latest jobs report evidence of the worst economic and jobs crisis in modern U.S. history.
Millions of people have lost their jobs or had their hours slashed. They've lost their health insurance or are in danger of losing their health insurance.
He called on Congress to pass an emergency spending bill as soon as possible. Majority Leader Mitch McConnell and House Speaker Nancy Pelosi have resumed negotiations for economic relief.
We have to do it in a way that recognizes people need food on the table. They need to get their rent paid. They need money in their pockets. They need their unemployment insurance.
Economists worry the recent surge in COVID-19 cases, hospitalizations, and deaths will make December's jobs report even worse. President-elect Joe Biden has announced that he's asked Dr. Anthony Fauci to be his chief medical advisor and remain on the coronavirus task force. With control of the Senate in the balance, Vice President Mike Pence traveled to Georgia. He plans to rally with Senators David Perdue and Kelly Loeffler, who are hoping to keep their jobs in next month's runoff election. President Trump plans to headline another rally in Valdosta, Georgia tomorrow night. And Georgia's governor is calling on the Secretary of State's office to conduct a signature audit of ballots following allegations of election fraud. Results from the state's second recount found President-elect Biden had 900 fewer votes than the first recount, but that he still beat President Trump by about 12,000 votes. Skylar Henry, CBS News, Wilmington, Delaware.
Biden has said he will call on all Americans to wear masks during his first 100 days in office. The House of Representatives has voted to federally decriminalize cannabis, passing it by a vote of 228 to 164. The bill would remove marijuana from the Federal Controlled Substances Act and clear the way to erase nonviolent federal marijuana convictions. Its path through the Senate is uncertain. Majority Leader Mitch McConnell, who supports the hemp industry, has said lawmakers should focus on providing relief from the pandemic. The spirit of the holidays is alive in downtown Fargo. The downtown Fargo Christmas tree is lit up for the season. Daily public skating at Broadway Square begins December 10th at 4 p.m. 10 skaters wearing masks will be allowed on the ice at a time. And we could use some help with our virtual food drive. Valley News Live has teamed up with the Great Plains Food Bank for the project. There are a number of items that you can purchase and donate right from your phone. Just download our VNL News app, look for the virtual food drive, and then click to donate. Up next, one player cost his team a chance at the playoffs and faces felony charges after attacking a ref during a game.
And our weather started out delightful, and we'll pause it there. There was a cloud that blew over the FM area today. Otherwise, we saw awesome conditions throughout the region. Little cooler in northern Minnesota. I'll have a look into your weekend forecast and how long this mild stretch lasts coming up right after this.